What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. As you know, I've been testing out a few cameras this week. I'm kind of looking for a new camera in a sense to accompany what my current setup is, and the next thing I have to test out is the Canon R5. Thanks to Pro Sales Broadcast and Canon South Africa for sending this through. And yeah, here's my first impressions. I think being a Sony shooter, someone who's been shooting the A7 III for the past almost 2 years now, holding this kind of took me back to the old days of, the aspirations of wanting a 1DX2 and a 1DX, and having that feeling, it's a very comfortable grip. Being able to grip the camera with not having my pinky falling off, for instance, is very nice. Just means, once you add that battery grip, it will give it that beefy feeling that, everyone loves. Especially shooting sports, having that extra grip and extra weight does help a bit with kind of balancing and having a stable setting. But yeah, I only really got to use this for 2 days, so I can't really have a review on it. It's more just my thoughts. And firstly, the photo capabilities of this camera is ridiculous. I think you've seen in all the various reviews out there that the speed is crazy. This is kind of a 1DX EOS R mashed together, 45 megapixels, so it's almost like a 5DSR as well, in the sense that the quality of prints you can get out of this camera is ridiculous. For most of the time I did have the 24-1:5 RF on it, and again, solid lens, great autofocus. The eye detection is ridiculous again. When I did have a chance to adapt, I only had it for about an hour or so to adapt my 300mm to here. And again, what's nice is that is the first 300mm without even having a IS in, and the way the camera connects with an EF lens is just amazing. I think it's great that Canon didn't kind of cheap out on that. You still get the benefits of using your old glass, which is always a massive saving for photographers out there. You don't have to worry about getting RF glass. You can always just go and get your old EF glass adapted on here. It works perfectly. I recently just shot a video using the nifty 50, that old lens, and it still works perfect. Eye tracking in video and everything works perfectly. So again, I think Canon is really built on using user-friendly ways of working with new cameras, and I think that's what I felt with getting this camera. I received it, and within 5 minutes I was up and at it shooting with the setup. It did take a couple minutes just to get familiar with the modes. Coming from the Sony A7 III, it is a bit of a shock going from that to that. And I think that's what Canon is kind of focused on. They've always been focused on intuitive design and user interface, and I think that's what makes it so easy to switch over to Canon. Is the way you interact with the camera is easy to understand, easy to get a grip of quite quickly, and that's what I experienced when using this camera. I think using the video, there's a few new features in here that obviously one needs to get used to. I didn't really get to shoot much with it. I obviously don't have the CF type, I think it's type B or type A, that enables like the 8K and the 4K shooting, but that's something hopefully I'll be testing out once I get my hands on the camera again. But yeah, my first impressions from a photography perspective, especially being a sport photographer, it's really probably one of the best cameras you can get for sports photography. Being able to shoot silent, 20 frames per second. As a golf photographer, it's probably one of the best cameras you can get right now. And there's obviously a few competitors out there, but I think this is honestly one of the best sports cameras you can get for the price, especially right now. I think through certain stores you can get it on special for less than 70,000 rand, and for what you're getting, it really is a powerhouse, especially when you look at what the video capabilities offer. Again, didn't get to test them out, but I do like the fact that you can shoot C-Log 4K 4:2 10-bit video on here. You have your flip LCD screen, so in clutch moments when you're filming yourself like I am right now, I'm actually filming on the A7 III, and I have to have a monitor set up here to actually see myself and see the frame. So the convenience of the flip LCD screen, the ergonomics of the camera, and just solid features. I think the R5 is definitely a beast. Hopefully I can get my hands on this for a few more shoots, and I can kind of settle my review, especially dealing with the raw file, seeing dynamic range and things like that. But from the first 2 days with it, really enjoyed it, love the speed. I think almost it's too fast, but luckily there are options to dumb it down a bit and, you know, shoot less frames per second. But, thanks to Canon for sending this out again. Stay tuned for more R5 content. I'll have on my Instagram page. I'll link that down below, so make sure to give me a follow. And yeah, until the next one,